Anti-aging is a term that's just thrown around pretty loosely. And in this video, I want to help you understand how you can truly start combating aging at a cellular level and truly comprehend what's going on inside your body. I'm Thomas Delar with Keto-Mojo, and I'm going to help you understand how the ketogenic diet and periods of fasting can play a big effect on something known as vascular aging. You see, when we look at overall life, when we look at overall disease, aging is probably the strongest risk factor that we have to worry about. So if we can reduce aging, we can reduce our risk factors of disease, plain and simple. Now, when we look by and large at how we can actually delay aging or have an anti-aging effect on the body, calorie restriction comes to mind first and foremost. You see, we've been studying caloric restriction for years and years and years when it comes down to the effect on aging. And it's been proven in a lot of studies that reducing calories can increase a lifespan. But what if there are some ways utilizing the ketogenic diet that we could actually delay aging without having to reduce calories to a crazy extent? Well, science is starting to prove that there are some ways, and it all has to do with the common denominator known as beta-hydroxybutyrate. You see, when you fast or when you go through periods of caloric restriction, your body produces something known as beta-hydroxybutyrate, or BHB for short. Now also, when you're on the ketogenic diet, you are producing BHB, or beta-hydroxybutyrate. As a matter of fact, that's exactly what the Keto-Mojo meter is measuring. When you're measuring your ketone levels, you're measuring your levels of beta-hydroxybutyrate. So here's where things get interesting, because BHB now has a link directly with an anti-aging effect. So there was a study that was published in the journal Molecular Cell, and it took a look at something known as vascular aging. Now, vascular aging is starting to get studied a lot more now. You see, vascular aging literally has to do with the aging of the vessels that supply blood and lymph to our organs and to other areas of our body that are super important. See, inside our blood vessels, inside our arteries, inside our vessels, and inside our lymphatic vessels, we have these cells called endothelial cells. So our vessels are living, and these cells are literally there surviving. They're dividing, they're multiplying, they're growing. And as they age, the vessels age. So if we can actually measure the anti-aging effect of these vessels, we could overall take a look at anti-aging as a whole. So this study found that beta-hydroxybutyrate literally does delay the aging of these endothelial cells. And it does by preventing a specific type of death. Okay, this is called senescence. And this particular type of cell death is literally just the cellular death that occurs from aging. Over time, a cell loses its ability to grow and it loses its ability to divide. So what ends up happening is the cells eventually just wear out and they just die. Now, when we have beta-hydroxybutyrate in the equation, it forces or encourages a cell to divide at a younger age, which means that you end up with younger cells. When cells divide, they are essentially creating new cells. So since beta-hydroxybutyrate has an effect on helping cells divide, we can keep a particular area of the body younger for a longer period of time. So in this case, with the vascular aging situation, we're encouraging these endothelial cells to divide and therefore stay younger, and therefore reducing vascular aging. Now, there is another component that's added to the equation here, and this is one that's just starting to get studied as well. And this is the fact that beta-hydroxybutyrate encourages stem cell production as well. So when we're looking at the vascular system, the encouragement of stem cells means that, of course, those endothelial cells can be produced more often. You're going to be able to have new life. Stem cells are really emerging in all kinds of research these days, helping us restore knees from knee pain, helping us restore joints, helping us grow new hair, all kinds of things. Stem cells are really the future. So when we look at beta-hydroxybutyrate and its effect on generating the proper stem cells in specific areas of the body, we could be tapping into an entirely new system that promotes an anti-aging effect. So if you want to make sure that you're truly living your best life possible for as long as possible, you're going to want to start listening to the science. And you're going to want to start paying attention to how often you get into the ketogenic state or how often you experiment with some fasting. And the best way to know that you're there is by utilizing the Keto-Mojo meter, because it gives you a flat-out answer of what your levels of beta-hydroxybutyrate are in your body at that particular point in time. So as always, make sure you're keeping it locked in here with Keto-Mojo and leave the guesswork out of the equation. You want to leave the measuring to the meter so you know right where you're at. I'll see you in the next video.